Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
Women suffering pregnancy emergencies are being turned away by doctors frightened of breaking confusing new abortion rules, a lawsuit claims. One woman in Texas says she was given a pamphlet on miscarriage and told her to let nature take its course before discharging her without treating her ectopic pregnancy, a deadly condition that sees the unviable embryo grow outside the womb. The 25-year-old bled for 3 days and has now been rendered infertile. 2 women, one in Florida and one in Texas, were dismissed by doctors and left to miscarry in public restrooms. At least 100 pregnant women in severe medical distress were turned away from emergency departments in 2022, an Associated Press analysis shows. It's not clear how those numbers compared to pre-Dobbs, but anecdotally doctors are reporting confusion about how to approach abortion issues in hospitals. Experts and healthcare providers attribute the issue to fears doctors have of overstepping abortion bans and facing prison. 2 new legal complaints from victims of ruptured ectopic pregnancies, which occurs when a fertilized egg attaches to the fallopian tube instead of the uterus, allege Texas hospitals failed to provide them with the speedy, life-saving treatment they needed, instead sending them home multiple times to fend for themselves. Texas law regarding abortion explicitly says that ending ectopic pregnancies, which are never viable, is legal. Under state law, an act is not an abortion if the act is done with the intent to remove an ectopic pregnancy. Ectopic pregnancy is the leading cause of maternal mortality in the first trimester, accounting for 5 to 10% of all pregnancy-related deaths. The state's law criminalizes abortion from the moment a heartbeat is detected, around 5 or 6 weeks gestation, except when the pregnant woman's life is put at risk. There are no exceptions for cases of rape and incest. Providers found to have performed an abortion will be forced to pay $100,000 and/or spend the rest of their lives in prison. But the legal complaints for both Texas victims, Kelsey Norris de la Cruz, 25, of Dallas, and Kylie Thurman of Burnett, claim doctors have been scared into running extensive tests despite knowing the diagnosis in order to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the pregnancy is unviable. But in the time doctors are running superfluous tests, they're delaying life-saving medical care and allowing the patient's physical condition to deteriorate. Since the federal guarantee to the right to an abortion was overturned by the conservative-leaning Supreme Court in June 2022, the number of states that have passed tight restrictions or all-out bans on abortion has reached 22, with even more considering legislation that aims to curtail rights. Both Texas victims are demanding the federal government investigate the hospitals they were treated at to determine whether they broke federal law by denying them care. Kelsey Norris de la Cruz, who had experienced 2 miscarriages previously and was trying to prevent another pregnancy, learned she was expecting in January 2024. She was in her final year of college and she and her boyfriend began to plan for their new lives as parents. But while waiting for her first prenatal appointment, she noticed something was terribly wrong. She bled for hours before going to the emergency room at Medical City Healthcare in Dallas, where her high hormone levels and heavy bleeding pointed to another miscarriage. She was sent home and told to seek additional care if she continued experiencing cramping and bleeding. And she did, at one point having severe cramps that made it impossible to stand up and drive herself to school. At one point, she began passing blood clots and made an appointment at her college's health center on February 12. The staff noted severe pain on her right side and told Ms. Norris de la Cruz to go to the hospital emergency room immediately. After rushing to Texas Health Arlington Hospital with her mother, further hormone tests revealed they were surging. It gave Ms. Norris de la Cruz a glimmer of hope. Maybe her pregnancy was still viable after all. But her world crumbled when she learned it was an ectopic pregnancy. She could either undergo surgery or receive a shot of methotrexate, which stops the growth of pregnancy tissue that has implanted outside the uterus and allows the body to abs.